All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to another live episode of Defi Monday, proudly brought to you by Binance Africa. We are going to be discussing what is happening currently in the DeFi space, and it promises to be another interesting and educative session. So, I'm your host, Ken Lawal, and my co host is Kazim Saidu. I'm very glad to be here today, and I'm sure you are also glad. And to begin with, I will run a short disclaimer. Nothing that we're going to be sharing should be considered financial advice. It's only for informational and educational purposes, and you still need to do your own due diligence. Do your own research before you make any investment decisions. All right. So before I go ahead, um, I want you guys to share your name and where you are joining us from, and also share this live stream with your friends, as many as possible, so that they get to benefit from the different information and insight that we're going to be giving you today. All right. So while you are doing that, my co-host Kazim Saidu, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very great, and it's nice to be here once again to host another edition of Binance DeFi Mondays. And I hope that we're going to also gain one or two things from what we're going to be discussing today. So it's really nice to be here. And also, I just want to add that just one thing that I want to also do today, because we're going to be talking about spotting scams in DeFi, along with the privacy and anonymity in DeFi as well. So I want everyone listening to drop just okay. Let me not just say that. I think I should not say that. I wanted to ask them to drop some kind of no. Let me just not say it. So let's just carry on with the program. I'll try and provide that myself. So I just don't want to encourage spam rather.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. All right. So I'll be diving into what we have today. But all right, before I start, I have Samuel Alagbe here. So Samuel, it's good to have you back. I have Luis Chigoze. Good to have you back. I have okay, Samuel from Oshun. All right, good to have you. How is Oshun this evening? I have Adenike Deyimbofa. All right. So Adenike, I'm so glad to have you here today. So please and please share this live stream with as many persons as possible, because you guys are going to be learning, you know, in depth. You're going to have in-depth insights on what is happening in the DeFi space. And DeFi is the future of money. Crypto is the future of money, and by bringing the best information to you. All right. So Mohammed Najib, you're also welcome. All right. So today we are going to be looking at privacy and anonymity in the DeFi space. We'll look at the Tornado Cash crackdown. We'll look at the AUSD hack, and I'll give you some practical tips on privacy in the DeFi space. Okay, so let's look at privacy and anonymity in the DeFi space. One thing you guys need to realize is that there is a huge difference between privacy and anonymity, right? And I'm going to cover them today. Okay, so privacy is good, right? While anonymity in a way is bad. So let's look at the differences. Let's look at privacy. What is privacy? Privacy is a state in which one is not observed or disturbed by other people. In a way, we all deserve privacy. Everyone deserve privacy, right? I'm sure there are some certain aspects of your life that you wouldn't want the public to know, right? So privacy is like sleeping at home in your house and locking your door, right? So just imagine you are in your house and you can't lock your door. That means you don't have any privacy. That means anybody can come into your house anytime. Another good definition for privacy is that it is the state of being free from public attention. All right. So privacy is a state whereby the public is not interfering with some certain part of your life. For example, your salary, the salary that you earn, how will you feel if, let me say, you are earning 9,000 naira a month, and it's out there in the public that you're earning 9,000 naira, right? People are not going to like respect you, right? So privacy in its sense is good. And if, let's say you're even earning a very huge amount of money, right? If it's out there that you're earning such money, then you are putting yourself in a very um harmful situation, right? Because people can actually attack you when they know how much you are earning. All right. So as I've said, everyone deserves privacy. In fact, privacy is an human right, right? I have the right to my privacy. You also have the right to your privacy. Because with privacy, right, you have self dignity, you have safety, and you have personality development. When there's privacy, you can develop your personality, right? But if there's no privacy, people will be conscious, right? They wouldn't want you to know something peculiar about them. So privacy is very, very important. Okay. So let's look at anonymity at the other end. What is anonymity? Anonymity can be defined as the condition of being anonymous, right? I'm sure we have all seen a quote on the internet that they wrote the author as anonymous. That is, they don't know the author, right? So anonymity is a state or condition of being completely anonymous. That is, the person that is doing it or the person that is acting is unknown. They don't know the person, right? So the important idea in anonymity is that the person is non-identifiable, is unreachable, and is untrackable. And to an extent, anonymity is bad, because if somebody should do something bad, you can't identify the person, you can't reach the person, you can't track the person. So anonymity is bad, but privacy is good, right? Anonymity is bad, but privacy is also, so privacy is just you having your right to, to be private with some certain things, right? But anonymity in a sense is that you want to be able to do things without being known, right? And mostly has a negative feeling, right? Like Mr. Anonymous, something like that. All right. So let's look at the Tornado Cash crackdown. Let's look at the Tornado Cash crackdown, right? So since last Monday, the US Treasury sanctioned a popular crypto protocol called Tornado Cash, right? And for those of you out there that don't know what Tornado Cash is, it's an Ethereum coin mixing protocol for sending and receiving anonymous transaction, right? That is, you can use Tornado Cash to send transaction to someone, right, without your identity being revealed. Okay. And to further break it down, we all know that cryptocurrency is pseudonymous. It's not completely anonymous. It's pseudonymous in the sense that they can see your address on the blockchain, right? And that address is making transaction, is making transaction, is making transaction. They don't know who the person is. But if I want to pay you, or if you want to pay me and I send you my address and you use that your address to pay me, now I know the person that owns that your address. I know that it's you, and I can keep tracing you. And some people feel that is not good, right? Another instance is you are trading with a particular address. They don't know who the person is, but when they started tracking that transaction and you went to a particular cryptocurrency exchange to trade, now they're able to link that your address to the identity on the cryptocurrency exchange, right? So in a way, some people find this not cool, right? And those are the anonymous, those are the, I'll call them anarchists, or people that think it's important to be anonymous, right? So most of them use a platform called Tornado.cash, and since it was launched in 2019, over $7 billion has gone through the platform. And it was stated that about 20%, let's say 10 to 20%, is from illegal source or illegal activity. That is, bad actors, right, were also able to use the what the platform. So that's got the US Treasury infuriated, and they decided to sanction the platform. So right now, the website is down. The Some of their developers are being arrested. The Ethereum nodes that provide access to the Ethereum blockchain on the platform, like Infura, are also not working with the platform again, right? So this brings all the whole concept of, are this platform truly decentralized, right? Because we talk about DeFi, decentralized finance, right? But how can they be truly decentralized when the US government can just say, oh, you sanction them, and every protocol that they use no longer work with them? Okay, but we'll get there. So let's look at this. The platform allows users to obfuscate the origin and destination of transactions, right? So that is, the platform allows users to obfuscate is hide. They hide the origin and the destination of the transactions. So users send cryptocurrencies to the service, right? And have the crypto mixed among other coins, and is now the equivalent amount is now sent to recipient address, right? And we can't totally say this is bad. We can't totally say Tornado Cash is bad, right? Because there are some good reasons why you need to use a mixer, a crypto mixer like Tornado Cash, right? And I can mention some of those legal activities to you that you might want to, keep your privacy, right? So one of those legal activity is, if you are a journalist, right? If you are a journalist, right? If you are a journalist and you want funding, right? Some people that want to fund you might not want to let you have their identity. People might want to fund your research, your documentary as a journalist, but they might not want to reveal their identity, right? As a matter of fact, the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, he donated money to Ukraine, and he used Tornado.cash, right? And he didn't want to display his address publicly, right? He needs privacy for that, so that they don't start tracing his address, and he did that, right? So there are some good reasons. Another reason is, if you're a whistleblower, right? Whistleblowing, I wouldn't really say it's I would say it's 60% good, right? Because whistleblowing are bringing some of the things out there that people are not aware of, but they need to know. So they're bringing truth. So if you're a whistleblower, you won't want to release your identity and you want to get paid, right? So people can also sponsor you. Another reason is for protest. For example, there was a peaceful protest in Canada. If you can remember vividly, we had the truckers protest, right? So those truckers, they tried raising money with bank accounts, and guess what happened? The bank froze all the money that was sent to them, and everybody that donated to them, they froze all their accounts. That's a very big punishment, right? But Tornado Cash allows them to receive money without the identity of those that are supporting them being known, right? So there are some, those are the good use cases that you can use Tornado.cash, which is, privacy purposes. But let's come to the bad and illegal activities that you can use Tornado.cash, which is the one that is being aided by what? Anonymity, right? So some of the cryptocurrency acts that has happened in DeFi of recent, those money were able to be laundered by using Tornado.cash, right? And they got away with some of the money, right? So in a way, it supports illegal and illicit laundering of funds, right? Because those funds are going to be mixed, and now they won't be able to trace the funds, right? So on in all, one of their developer was arrested in Netherlands. The coin crashed by almost 50%. Right now, Tornado.cash is about $13 on Binance. I think there's still probability that Tornado.cash, the website is not on at the moment, but I feel there's probability that the website comes back on, right? And I was saying is that if Tornado.cash can find a way to stop illicit funds from going through their platform, then they have a good use case, and everybody will be able to use their platform. And if the platform comes back, the price of the coin is likely to rise, right? So I'll look at some of my spare capital, and I might buy Tornado your cash because it's actually a good service, but they need to stop illicit movement of funds through the platform. Okay, so let's look at AUSD stable coin. AUSD stable coin. AUSD. Okay, so on one of our previous episode, I said I mentioned DeFi protocols on the various chains that we have. I mentioned on Ethereum we have Compound, we have Curve. I mentioned on Polkadot that we have Akala, right? AUSD. Akala chain that we have Akala chain. So Akala chain is have this stable coin called AUSD. So yesterday is on the 14th. Early yesterday, AUSD, which is supposed to be a stable coin, it lost its peg and fell by 99%. Right? It fell by 99% and started trading around 0.0099. Right? That's about 1 cent, right? And although it has recovered today, let's look at what caused the the falling of the prices. So on one of their liquidity pools, that is the liquidity pool that people can exchange AUSD and wrapped BTC, IBTC, somebody was able to print about 1.3 billion Akala USD, AUSD, right? That's a very huge sum of money. Imagine somebody who might be an hacker able to do that, right? And how did it become so obvious? Because right now on the Akala chain, right, we have about 4 million USD that has been issued, right? So somebody was able to issue 1.3 billion. So of course, people that are looking at the chain, they'll be able to know that wow, the supply has been increased, and immediately the price fell. Although as at this time of speaking, the price has risen back to 0.9 USD, just about 10 cents more for it to be in parity with the US dollar, right? So the question is, how does Akala plan to deal with this, right? So one of the ways that they dealt with this is they stopped the Akala chain, right? And people start wondering that we say all these things are decentralized, all these things, they are DeFi, it's decentralized, nobody is controlling it. But the question is, are people really controlling this thing? And I want you guys that are listening to me, I want you to answer this question. Are all these DeFi protocols, are they really decentralized? Because some people, some persons, some admin can stop it even without, we talked about governance token. We talked about governance token. People need to vote on the way to go ahead, the way to make decisions. So if people are not even voting to make decisions and somebody somewhere, one of the team was able to pause the chain, right? Are they truly decentralized? I understand that they are pausing the chain to avoid exploit, to avoid somebody gaining an advantage over others, right? But the question is, are they truly decentralized? If they could pause the chain, if the US government could issue sanctions and it affects its operation, are they truly decentralized? And if they're not truly decentralized, then that means they're not even different from our middleman bank, from our banks that are middlemen as well. So what do you guys think? Please use the comment section. I'm looking at the comment section now. Are this platform truly decentralized? Okay. So while I'm looking at the comment section, Mohammed Najib said Ton found its bottom at $11. I think it's good to buy. It may pump massively when the issues have been resolved. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible it pumps, right? And Mohammed Najib said the hacking thing is becoming something wow, emerging stablecoin act. Yeah, yeah. But the question is, are they truly decentralized? And Toby just said, I don't think they are truly decentralized. Anyways, whether they are truly decentralized or not, let's look at some practical ways that you can be private, and also secure your funds in the cryptocurrency space, right? And the number one way that you can be private, you need to start your privacy now, right? If you're in the DeFi space, you need to start learning about privacy and implementing it now. Don't wait till you have huge sum of money, right? So number one is that don't use your primary email to connect to DeFi platforms, right? There's some DeFi platform that we have out there that gives you alert. For example, Etherscan can give you alert when you receive money. A lot of DeFi platform out there that they can give you alert maybe when your loan is due to be repaid. They can give you alert. So please and please don't use your primary email, right? That is your normal Gmail or Yahoo mail, right? It's advisable you use an anonymous email like Protomail, Tutanota, or Secure Mail, because when you do this, they don't know that it's connected to your identity. And when you do this, don't also give anybody that proto mail so that they will know that you are the one, right? So it's very, very important you use that, because regulations are coming to DeFi, sanctions are coming to DeFi, and it might get to the case that you are not even the person that is doing the illicit activities, right? Maybe one way or the other, those funds get to pass through your wallet, then they can trace your email and get hold of you, right? So start implementing privacy right now. Okay. Another thing you can do is to ensure that the DeFi platform you use are audited, right? Some of these uh, DeFi platforms, they have been audited. Static is an example of a platform that audits DeFi solutions, DeFi protocols, right? So ensure that they are being audited by Static and any other auditor out there. And the audit simply means the auditor has gone through the code and they are certain that there's no easy way that the code is going to be exploited, right? There's no admin key or anything that is going to make the DeFi protocol to be compromised, right? Then the next thing you need to do is to research the team behind the platform. Every cryptocurrency, every DeFi protocol has a team, most of them. So research the team. Of recent, I was going online and I saw one platform. Okay, it happened in two scenarios. I saw one DeFi protocols that it was the same person that is a team member, but different names. He snapped himself on Bad Ed, right? He snapped himself on Low Cut. He snapped himself on with when he had plenty here, and also snapped himself when he was with Udi, right? The same person, different posture, different names, and he was able to raise funding for his DeFi project, right? So guys, you need to search them, okay? And of recent, Solana, which is a very popular coin, we realized that about a group of 10 persons, right? In fact, maybe 3 persons, they formed 10 personalities, and they were able to push the Solana project that they invested a lot of money in it and it pumped, right? So you need to make sure that you research, right? If you can use your computer to identify that it's the same person, then please be careful, because when we have the same person that is anonymous on a Twitter account, they are able to, do all sorts of things. Okay. So now, one more thing you need to know is that what reward equals risk. If they are promising you high reward, whether you are seeing 3 digits yield, APY, right? Because you are seeing huge returns, it also means that what you are going to be entering into high risk, right? So you need to be a bit careful. Okay. One other way that you can ensure privacy is to have multiple addresses. I've said it countless times. Spread your money across multiple addresses, right? And what multiple addresses does is that if one of our address is compromised, so far is not that address that you have all your money in, you are not going to like feel it. You won't feel it much, right? So if you have your money spread across multiple addresses, number one, they can't trace all those addresses together, and number two, you're not going to lose all your money due to a simple mistake. So I believe right now, for everybody that is watching this live stream, you are not going to fall victim of putting all your money into a single wallet, and maybe an attacker got hold of that wallet. Okay. The next point is, okay, spread your capital across those wallets. Yes, please do. Then verify platform before connecting your wallet. Check the address, the website address. Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing? farmer yield, FARMER, is different from FAMA, right? So sometimes people share links in Discord and Telegram groups and you just click on it. Always verify. Okay. Then another thing you can use is a platform called the Defi Score. They rank. There are a lot of platforms out there that ranks Defi platforms, right? So my co-host Kazim mentioned Dabbe that ranks Binance Smart Chain DeFi platforms, right? The scams one, the scams, those are scam, okay? Then verify blockchain network before making transaction. On this DeFi Monday, we have discussed Binance Smart Chain, we have discussed Ethereum chain, and I even mentioned the Smart BCA chain, and there's even Polygon, there's a Polkadot chain, right? Most of this chain you can connect it, even Solana chain, you can connect it with your MetaMask, right? But make sure that whenever you are sending money from a chain to another chain, for sending money between wallets, ensure that it is the right chain. Don't be on Binance Smart Chain and you want to send money to, let's say, Solana chain, and you forgot to change the network, right, in your MetaMask. Although you might be able to recover the money, right, if you are savvy enough, right, but don't make that mistake because you might stress yourself getting that money back, right? So I'm rounding up now. Another thing you can do is to be careful of who you transact with. Be careful of who you transact with. Some people, they want to sell this in legal money, and they will sell it at even cheaper price, and you'll be like, let me just buy, let me just buy. But don't forget that you are KYC verified, and by the time the money pass through you, use an exchange, now they know who your identity is, and they'll be like, you are the hacker. So be careful who you transact with. And finally, stay up to date. Yeah, stay up to date. We are doing DeFi Monday so that you can stay up to date, right? You need to stay up to date in the DeFi space because, for example, there are some protocols that are no longer operating, right? So just imagine you are a member of that protocol and you kept using it, but you took some break and you came back to use the protocol and your money is gone. So stay up to date to news. Stay up to date to news, right? Acts are happening. Stay up to date, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I'll be handing over to my co-host Kazim Saidu, and although we're in Q&A session, I'll be handing over to my co-host if you can pick one or two questions so that I can answer them. So Kazim, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kenny. I must say, I also learned one or two things from what you just discussed with us, and it's really, really awesome. So, there are a lot of
You're
questions here,
welcome.
but I think we'll take them probably after I complete the section now, so we can just take all the questions and comments
Okay.
together. Okay, I'm just waiting to share my screen. I think you would
Okay,
probably help
nice.
me end
Nice.
your sharing there so that I could come up.
Okay, okay. I've done that now. I've done that.
Okay, so I think I'll just wait for
Please,
Emmanuel
I've
to.
done that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So just waiting for my screen to come up. So while we're waiting for that, like I always say, there is no DeFi Mondays without DeFi updates. So I definitely want to run through a few updates that I have for us in the DeFi space. Just a general market update for today. We all know that the global cryptocurrency market cap now stands at around $1.15 trillion, and this is about 1.95 percentage down from last 24 hours. We know Bitcoin is trading between 23,800 dollars to around a bit above 24,000 US dollar currently. So and we all know that in the last 24 hours, we have most major cryptocurrencies that have big market caps. They are kind of trading in a mixed way. And we have the outperformers, those that are really performing well now currently, which are the CVC, CHZ, and OMFI. They have about 21%, 13%, and 12% change in the last 24 hours, respectively. Also, on Binance, currently, the top gainers on Binance, the CVC trading against BUSD, CHZ trading against BUSD, and OMFI trading against that BUSD on Binance. So let's just look at the top decentralized exchanges, the top cryptocurrency decentralized exchanges by trading volume in the last 24 hours. Uniswap version 3 is leading the charge with about 1.3 billion US dollars in trading volume. And we have DYDX following with 1.2 billion US dollar. We have Kind Protocol, Pancake Swap in number 4, IZ Swap in number 5. You can get this information on Coin Market Cap. So I always reiterate it that every time you need to, just like Kenny mentioned, you have to stay up to date. And one of the ways for you to stay up to date is to check out these aggregators, this Coin Market Cap, CoinGecko, and any other one out there, giving you more information about the cryptocurrency exchange, the DeFi platforms. Also, we have the DeFi tokens by market capitalization. We have them, and I have them, those with the highest trading volume in the last 24 hours. DAI is a stable coin. Currently, it has about 583 million US dollar in the last 24 hours in trading volume. Avax is following it closely with 518 million US dollar in trading volume in the last 24 hours. Avalanche is on number 13 in the global cryptocurrency ranking. We have Chainlink following it closely as well with 459 million US dollar in trading volume in the last 24 hours. And MKR Maker following Chainlink. And we have Aave. Aave is in number 41 in the global cryptocurrency ranking with 271.3 million US dollar in trading volume in the last 24 hours. So having said that, having given us the update, so I believe my screen is up now. Kenny, could you please confirm that if my screen is up, please?
Yes, your screen is up. I can see it.
All right, thank you very
Yes,
much.
please go
So
ahead.
the last update I want to give us is about the BNB chain red alarm. BNB chain red alarm is really making wave now, and it's even, I think, recently yesterday Cointelegraph also picked up some news from BNB chain red alarm section. So this is where you get to see suspected scams projects that are already busted and already seen to be scams, or that will rock pool later. So you want to check red alarm every time. To check red alarm, I always say it every day. You go to dappbay.bnbchain.org /red alarm. So there you would see different projects, different DeFi tokens that are of significant risk. So you can see the list for this week. You can see them there. You can see, for example, you have the baby.gas, WebDAO, Drip, Tate token, and so on and so forth. You can go there, check through. You might just find the project you're probably looking at investing in on the list. So it gives you an idea of what to stay away from and what to probably look after. So check the red alarm section on the DApp on BNB chain every time when you have a chance. Before you go into any project, be sure to check it every time. All right. So let me just move straight to my next discussion, which is spotting crypto scams in DeFi. Spotting scams in DeFi. So we're going to look at how you can spot these DeFi scams, and also some of the tools you can use to identify a scam token. So this is very important for you because just like my co-host mentioned, DeFi is the future of money. Just like the crypto is already here to stay, and you have to also be you have to be very savvy in DeFi. You have to know what's going on, be familiar with the use cases of DeFi. But in order for you to do well in the DeFi space, you have to know how to research into projects, how to research into protocols. Because just like the question thrown out there, that are they truly decentralized? And just as you're protecting yourself, as you are looking for ways to increase your privacy, you must also be very sure of how to spot scams when you see one. So before you invest your hard-earned money, you're able to protect yourself. So what should you look out for? What should you look out for? Fine. When you're investigating DeFi projects, okay, you want to look out for a number of things. The first one being the purpose of the project, and second one being development activity, smart contracts audits, the founder's identity, tokens distribution, and look for a potential exit scam. So let's just take a look at all of them, one after the other. The first one is purpose. So first, you should ask, what is the purpose of this project? So now, asking what the purpose of a project is might look like an obvious question, but asking these important questions can point you to the right direction on whether to invest in the project or not. Because when you're able to get the answer to this question, and you are convinced enough of the purpose of the project, then you're able to decide on whether to invest or not to invest. So some of the important questions you should ask when you're looking for an answer to this question is: does this project try to do something new and innovative? Are they trying to contribute to the new digital economy with their project? Or how is it different from its competitors? And also, you could ask, is there a unique value proposition here? So, when you are able to get answers to these questions, I believe by the time you answer this question, it will definitely tell you if this project is worth investing in or not. So you should ask yourself, you should ask all these questions before you go ahead to invest your money, because a money something you struggle to get, it's money. So you don't just want to throw it around without being convinced enough that this is a project I should put my money in. The second point, which is the development activity. So this actually borders on the code side. If you are here now and you are familiar with version controls like GitHub, or you probably know how to check smart contracts. Maybe you write Solidity, stuff like that. So you want to check their development activity. So we all know that most of the DeFi development code are based on open source practices. So most of the DeFi projects out there will tell you they are open source. So you can actually access their code base on GitHub or any other place they decided to host their code. So it means that you can easily check through the code if you have some programming skills and spot any unusual code embedded into the contract code. And another thing you can actually check is how often do they ship new codes to their project repository on different version control like GitHub. So you probably check their GitHub repo, check how often did they update their code, how often did they actually write new code to update their repository. So that can actually tell you a little bit of their development activity. But one thing you must actually notice that this metric now, this checking if they are updating their code probably often, it can be deceiving at times, because you still need to combine it with other indicators, just like you're trading cryptocurrency. You need to combine this what you're saying in the development activity with other indicators to drive at a solid conclusion, because they can still game you in this aspect. So you cannot base your decision on it alone. So let's talk about smart contract audits. Previously, when Kenny was talking, he talked about auditing projects with Static. We have Static, and there are also some credible auditors out there. But Static is one of the most used and most respected. So the essence of audit is to make sure the code is secure. But audits are actually generally expensive, especially when you want to audit with static. So it's very expensive, and that is why most of these scam projects are mostly deployed without audits, because in most cases, legitimate projects usually are able to afford audits, but that doesn't mean they are completely safe to use. So because you see a project is audited, doesn't mean it's 100% safe to use. You still have to do your research further. So, and you must always be aware of risks attached to sending your funds into a smart contract. You must be aware. You have to also do your research deeper and deeper. Now, about the founder's identity, just like we discussed the anonymity and the privacy. But in this age, anonymity is actually not bad in its entirety. But after all, we do not know the person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto. So some can have an argument regarding that. Okay, but we don't know the founder of Bitcoin. We don't know if they're a group of people or just a single person bearing Satoshi Nakamoto that created the first cryptocurrency. But the downside of not knowing the founder's identity of a project is that if anything goes wrong, projects with anonymous founders now will be difficult to be held accountable, because they have almost nothing tying them to their real world identity. So in this age, in this time that we are in, before you invest in a DeFi project, you probably want to know the founders. Let's forget about them being anonymous or because they don't want to be known. But it makes you feel safer that you know the founders of this project and they are tied to a real world identity, and they can be held accountable if anything goes wrong. If probably they decided to rock pool, they have the identity, so we can go after them. So in summary now, projects with anonymous founders does not mean they are bad, but it may pose greater risk than known founders with reputations in real world. So when the founders are anonymous, it doesn't really mean they are bad. In fact, we have seen several projects that are with anonymous founders that are doing really great, really, really great. So it doesn't mean they are totally bad, but they pose greater risk. That is why you have to evaluate your risk. You have to be aware of the risk involved before you actually invest in such projects. because when they don't have known founders that you can actually point to, then you are at greater risk of losing your money if anything goes wrong, because you would have nowhere or no one to face. And that's that about that. So the fifth point that I want to look at is, the token distribution. So let's look at it this way. You have to know, how are the DeFi tokens you want to invest in now, how are they distributed? Having this full information about how a token is distributed can actually give you a full picture of the project. How are they allocated? You need to ask yourself, you need to ask that question. Check their white paper, check their forums, check their medium page, wherever they probably put that information. Because you have to know, you have to ask the question, okay, is the distribution done through an exclusive pre-sale, or is it just only available to some insiders who get a great portion of the token? Then after getting those portion of the token, now they come to social media to hype the project on social media in order to have newbies, people that are probably don't know what's going on, to just buy into the project, and they use them as exit liquidity. You also want to know, is it an initial coin offering, ICO? Are they doing an initial exchange offering, IEO? That often happens on even Binance Launchpad. You want to have that information as well. So it means that if they are doing an initial exchange offering, like it happens on Binance with Binance Launchpad sometimes, it means that Binance as an exchange or any other crypto exchange whatsoever doing some kind of IEO, initial exchange offering, are putting their reputation at stake. So to some extent, you feel safe. You feel safer. You feel like, okay, we know this is being done on Binance. We know this is the identity of those carrying this out. And you also want to know, still talking about token distribution, you want to know, are they distributing these tokens now through an airdrop? And we all know it's a known fact that when tokens are distributed through airdrop, it usually causes a lot of sell pressure. And that's why when people get airdrops, the first thing they want to do is, as soon as the project or the token is listed, they want to sell off because it's free money. So when you get to know that such project has a lot of airdrops distributed, you probably want to relax, be patient after the whole sell pressure has settled before you want to take position. I'm not trying to give you a financial advice, but just a way I would do things myself. And if you are unable to establish how a token is distributed, then that is actually a possible red flag. You must be able to establish how a token is actually distributed, how their token distribution, the tokenomics is, before you invest. If you are unable to establish the information, it's a red flag and could be potential scam. Now, to the last point in this section now is you spotting possible exit scam. We know there are different approaches DeFi projects launch their tokens. Some could use yield farming or liquidity mining, and which is actually new way of launching DeFi tokens. So basically, what they do is using this liquidity mining or yield farming, it provides them a favorable way of distributing the tokens. So what users are required to do is to lock their funds while they get the newly minted tokens. But this particular approach can actually be exploited in a way that some projects can actually take the funds in the liquidity pool. So every fund you lock in, you're in the liquidity pool, with the hope that you're going to get new tokens, can actually be taken away. While some scam projects, what they do is they use a different complex approach, or what they do is they have a huge pre-mine of the tokens that they've already mined and keep in a particular wallet. So when the token is now listed on automated market makers now, such as Uniswap or PancakeSwap, they just go ahead and dump those pre-mined token, and you just what you just see is the price could be around maybe $1. You just started seeing 0.00 because the price will virtually go down to zero. Another thing they could do is they could just remove the initial provided liquidity. And when they remove the liquidity, that leads to rug pull. So I want to believe these points I've mentioned now should be a guide for you to actually do better when you are investigating projects that you want to invest in. Now, let's move on to look at tools, the common tools available for you to actually analyze different tokens. And please, you must know that this is not an exhaustive list, and it doesn't mean these tools will provide you with 100% accuracy when you're investigating different projects. So you have to use them at your own risk. And Also try to do further research and combine the decisions they probably generate for you with other indicators so that you can reach a solid conclusion. So some of the DeFi tools I've gathered up today for us to discuss is we have Dex tools, you have Unicrypt, you have the token sniffer, you have BSC check, and also your block explorer. Block explorer simply means blockchain explorer. Blockchain explorer like your Ether scan, your BSC scan, and I think it was mentioned by Kenny as well. So let's look at the first one, which is Dex tools. So if you look at your screen, that's just a screenshot from Dex tools website. So Dex tools now can be used with different chains, including you have Ethereum, you have BNB chain, Solana, and so on. It's a multi-chain compatible website. So you can actually analyze and investigate different projects on several chains. So and it's a great platform to actually help you to quickly see what is going on with a token. So it enables you to sort the buys and sells for that token. So whatever is happening with that token, the trades going on in that with that token, you're able to see it. You can decide to see what the buy or the sales of that token at a particular time. And if by any chance now you don't see any sell orders while checking out a token, there is a chance that you are looking at what is called on a pot, or there might be a form of restriction on selling in place. So which means buyers are not able to sell after buying. And you know what that means? If you're able to buy a token, but you're not able to sell it, it is as simple as you have been scammed because your money is gone. So if you use Dex tools now, you are just saying only buy orders, but you're not seeing anybody selling. That means something is happening somewhere because trade means money is exchanging and someone is buying, someone is selling. So if there is no sell orders, then something is happening. However, you could actually see some sell orders, but it doesn't give you any guarantee that it is not a honeypot scam. Because some scammers now, what they do is they whitelist a few wallet addresses while blacklisting the major addresses. So it's those whitelisted addresses now will do some few sell orders. So it now gives an appearance of a normal trading activity going on for the token pair. So you actually need to shine your eyes and investigate further. And you can also take it further by analyzing the trading chart. You can also get the trading chart of that token. And if on the trading chart all you are seeing is green candles, green candles, green candles, without any red candles or a red candle indicating that there's some sell pressure in the market, then it means that no one has actually been able to sell that token. And I believe that's very clear. Okay, so we are saying you can see how the platform looks here. So when you get to Dex tools, you can easily just come to this top here, input a contract address. You can go to CoinMarketCap, probably you go to CoinMarketCap, get the contract address of any token you want to analyze. Come with the contract address, paste it in the search bar here. Then it populates and lists the available trading pair of that token on the selected chain. Could be BNB, it could be Ethereum. So what you do is just tap on your own interested chain that you are looking at analyzing. So when you tap on that, so you're able to see the trade history of that token, which is you can see just below here on the right side here. So that helps you to quickly see what is going on now with that token. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is Unicrypt. So Unicrypt basically can be used to quickly check liquidity status for a specific token pair. So if the token creators now initial liquidity is locked, so if they lock their initial liquidity, then they can't withdraw the funds, which means they cannot rug pull. So effectively, they are not able to steal your fund if they are not able to remove that initial liquidity. So we can see I also prepared on this. This is just how Unicrypt looks. So what you can do if you want to use Unicrypt is go to Unicrypt app.unicrypt.network. Tap on browser. So when you tap on browser, you're able to select the particular exchange you want to check the token from. In this example, I'm checking at PancakeSwap and I want to check the liquidity of a particular asset. So on the next slide here, you can see, so when you're checking the liquidity of a particular token, if there is liquidity lock on the left hand side in this screenshot, you can see it will give you details about the liquidity lock, the total value of the liquidity that is currently locked. But if there is no liquidity lock, you get this on the right hand side, which to tell you that there is no locked liquidity. No locked liquidity. So that's a red flag, and you want to quickly run away from it as soon as possible. So you must keep an eye out for short-term locks as well, because some scammers will lock their liquidity for only specific period of time. So immediately the time is up, they quickly remove their liquidity and rug pull you. So you must just be aware and be informed at every point in time. Okay, Block Explorer, as mentioned, is an example of an example of Block Explorer is Etherscan. Etherscan, which is a Ethereum scan, Ethereum blockchain, for you to check Ethereum addresses or any token information. You have the BSC scan, which is for BNB chain, and so on and so forth. So the blockchain explorer are actually the ultimate source of all information about a token, where you can get so much information. So and here you'll be able to dive as deep as you want into the token liquidity pool, the comprehensive transaction data, the token contract code, token creator's address, the person that created the token, you get their address, and a host of other things. And a good place now to start when you are in the blockchain explorer is you can also check comments. Just like in the screenshots, when you open the blockchain explorer and you are searching through for a contract address, you can check the comment section to see if there are helpful comments there to tell you about the project. However, you could sometimes you may not find anything in the comment section, but it's just a good place for you to start. Another thing that you can also get from the blockchain explorer is you look into the contract creator's address to see if they have removed any liquidity, and these are also termed LP tokens. If they have already removed the liquidity token from the pool, you can also check that from by using your blockchain explorer. You can check the screenshot there. So in this transaction that you're seeing, we can see that the initial liquidity provided by this contract creator's address was around 100 BNB, which was provided around this time. At that time was around 6 days, 5 hours ago. Then in about 1 hour's time to that time, after adding the initial liquidity, they removed the initial liquidity, and also with stolen funds, which was over 1,700 BNB, was removed from the liquidity pool. So if you're able to see this information and you check through the contract creator address and you don't see any suspicious movement of funds, then probably you might decide to invest in such projects. But when you see things like this, that they already provided liquidity and remove it just within a short time, or even remove it later, so you want to be very careful and also still go deeper, because by even investigating the transaction, that liquidity pool transaction, you can also get the address of the liquidity pool itself for you to check the amount of liquidity remaining in that liquidity pool. Okay, let's check the next one, which is token sniffer. So token sniffer is actually a very good tool. I use it as well very much. So you can just visit the website at tokensniffer.com. So all you do, it's very easy to use. So it gives you information on exploits. It also gives you a brief contract audit. So it helps you audit the code and give you some brief some summary information about that contract, and also some other. So what you do is just get the contract address of the token you are willing to invest in, paste it in the search token by name or address, tap enter, then it populates the information for you. So also on the website as well, they also provide a list of known scams and hacks where you can see if a suspended token is listed. So it's a similar tool with a DRP on bnbchain.org website, as I've shown just before we commence this. So the last one I'll be checking is the BSC check. So BSC check is actually BNB chain specific tool, and it's very, very easy to use as well. So some of the information it will give you now, it includes the contract owner status, is the liquidity renounced or locked. It's also going to give you an information which also is there known honeypot code written into the contract. It also gives you that information if there is an honeypot code written into the contract. It gives you the developer's wallet information, also gives you the liquidity pool information and the top token holders. So it gives you a lot of information that can actually influence your decision to go ahead to invest in the project or not. So this is just how it looks basically. So what you do, the first thing you do is get the contract address and paste into this input box, then tap on check. So it loads and gives you a number of information. So these are just sample information. This is liquidity pool information, top holders information. Just an example from the website. So I want to believe this is very, very clear. So just to round up before we go ahead of time, just some final thoughts that I would like us to share. Now we've seen these tools and we've also understood how to spot potential scams. But we must know that none of the tools I've shared are 100% assertive, but can give you an idea of what should shape your decision, what should actually influence your decision to go ahead with your investment or get away from that project. Also, carrying out extensive research on projects is necessary before you invest your hard-earned money. And lastly, you must cultivate the habit of combining two or three tools to have better results. That is how you actually stay safe, also improve your privacy. So I want to believe that is very, very clear. And that's where I will be stopping today. So let's just look at a few questions that we can take. Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
Oh,
All right.
all right. Yeah. Thank you, Kazim, for that wonderful presentation. I myself have noted down a couple of platforms.
So,
I have a BS check. I have a token sniffer,
exactly.
and so on and so on. So thank you very much,
Uh,
Kazim. But I feel people will also need to have a link to this website. Do you mind sharing the website
okay,
as a
let
comment
me
to this video?
let, actually we are not able to add comments. We are not
Maybe,
able to add
maybe you can type it.
we
Because
are not
if people
yeah,
don't go to the website and try to use them, that might be
yes,
the end.
yes. The issue now
I've
is that
opened some on my website, and I will do more
yeah,
research.
we are not able to add comments right now. But what we can do is let me try and reshare my screen again if it would come up. I shouldn't have actually stopped the screen, but let me try and see if it will still
uh,
come up. Yeah, I
Come
don't
on.
think
Okay.
it's not coming up. But what we can do is this. Let me just try and see if I can.
There's no problem. You
Is my screen coming up
you
now?
can add it
No.
as comment. You can add it as comment to this video. Maybe later on.
Definitely after this class. Also, we can they can check us out on Twitter. If they're following on Twitter, I'll definitely list it on Twitter as well. They can check on my Twitter page at @seiduk_official. Also, they should endeavor to follow BNB chain and Binance as well. All these things are also dished out on a daily basis, but they can follow my Twitter, and I will definitely do that after this session. So I think we have some few questions or comments here.
Okay. Somebody is asking. He said Unicrypt will be very helpful for airdrop chasers. Do you think that is true?
Well, it depends because you want to know the liquidity status of a token. So if you chase an airdrop and you get certain airdrop now, you want to know if you're able to sell it because without liquidity, then you're not able to sell. So I think that's what probably the person is referring to. That if you get airdrop or you're chasing airdrop, you want to know if after you get the airdrop, you're able to sell such token because I have a number of airdrops in my wallet now that I'm not even able to sell. They just used it to get information from users, emails, stuff like that in order to do marketing. Some of
Okay.
them don't really do well. Okay, so someone is also asking if we are on Twitter. I think you want to
Okay.
give out your
Okay.
Twitter handle so they can also check you out. Did you get me? I think you should give out your Twitter handle. Someone is asking here if we are on Twitter, so you should probably give your Twitter handle so they could follow up later.
Yes, we are on Twitter. Maybe what we do is next time that we are coming live, we can add our Twitter handle
Uh,
to our
so,
name,
but you can,
so that
you can,
people who want to follow us can follow us.
yeah. So, all right. So, let me just, as a last resort, let me just call out, let me try and just dictate out the URL. Dex Tools is dextools.io. DEXTOOLS, dextools.io. That's for Dex Tools. And you have Unicrypt, app.unicrypt.network. Unicrypt is crypt from crypto.network. And you have BSC check, so just bsccheck.eu. And token sniffer is tokensniffer.com. So you still get it on my Twitter page at seidu_k_official. So we'll do that. So I think that's all from my side today. I don't know if Kenny still has some additional info to give out.
All right, yeah, yeah, that would be all. But I just want to quickly go through the comments. Somebody is giving an advice. Yeah, the person is saying, "Shine your eyes." That's Samuel Lagbe, which is a very, very good advice. Shine
Yeah,
your eyes whenever
very well.
you want to use any DeFi platform. You need
Yeah,
to shine your eyes very well.
very, very,
There are a lot of
very
rug
well.
pulls around, and with all this effort that we are putting in, it wouldn't be nice if you fall victim of any rug pulls. And
I
we
would,
said you should share this live stream with people out there. So it
please,
will not
please.
also be nice if your friends out there fall
Are still
victim
falling victim.
of
Yes, while you are
any
getting the
rug
information.
pull.
Yes.
Okay. So just one more question. One more question. I want to somebody was asking a question about my session. So the person said so somebody said in terms of somebody said in terms of scamming on an exchange, can the address be traced? Yeah, it's possible. It's
Hmm.
possible, right? So it's possible. It's possible. But my own suggestion is make sure you know the kind of people you trade with, right? So that you will not be your wallet address will not be compromised, and you'll be in a situation whereby they will think you are the one who has perpetuated this
Yeah.
scams. All right. Then finally, somebody said Ton found bottom at $11. I think it's good to buy. No problem. So if you think it's good to buy Ton, you can buy, but don't put all your money in Ton. All right, just buy with some money. If you come back up, you make some profit, and if it goes down, I hope it's not going to affect you. It's not a financial advice, by the way. Okay, so that'll be all for me. Thank you very much. It's been a
All right.
wonderful 1 hour plus of learning. So that's all from my side, Kazim.
All right. So just to tell them that they should endeavor to fill the giveaway form, and they should expect the giveaway in at least 2 weeks. And just be patient with us. If you win, you're going to get your rewards. Also, remember to join the Binance community. The Binance Nigeria group is at Binance Nigeria on Telegram. Also, uh, be sure to follow Binance Africa on Twitter. And remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also try to watch the past videos. We have several videos on the walk through. You have the blockchain Tuesdays, you have the weekly recap chat, and also DeFi Mondays, where you can get tons of information. Watch the previous videos, subscribe, and also share with your friends. Join the communities. If you are from Ghana or any other, you can join the Binance Ghana group at Binance GH Binance. So it's just a wrap from me as well. My name is Kazim once again, and see you same time at 5 p.m. GMT next week. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah.